Hi, you beautiful soul, and thanks for tuning in to my Little Becoming series on episode 4 on the stories we tell ourselves. Okay, now this is a very interesting one because, on average, I believe science has proven that, we experience between around 70 to 90,000 thoughts in a day, depending on obviously our level of busyness as well as resting phase, meditative states, all those things, and that our thoughts are in real time creating our external reality, as Neville Goddard always used to say, as within, so without, and no one to change but self, meaning obviously the moment we start changing our internal self, our external reality will also shift. And now this is the reality of how we create what we experience outside of us. And, I was never aware of this pre my spiritual awakening. I was literally living unconsciously. I identified with every single thought that came into my mind, into my awareness. And most of the time it was positive, but I have gone down some downward trajectories, which very much has been the cause of then obviously life not turning out the way I intended it, because I was unaware that, our thoughts create our reality. And that's all part of realizing that we are not actually the ego, that little voice in our head that is constantly speaking with us and telling us all these incredible, sometimes very creative, sometimes very scary thoughts, stories, that we tend to believe and identify with. And that becomes quite dangerous. I say quote unquote dangerous because if it's unmonitored and, if we're not holding a strict mental diet, we can very easily fall victim in our own heads and create this monster, this invisible monster that doesn't even exist or hasn't even yet existed. But because we are identifying with these thoughts, we then create more of it because we're, focus goes, energy flows. And so it then gets projected outwardly into our 3D physical reality. And if we are not aware of this, then we tend to, tell ourselves some of the craziest stories. And, as the famous saying goes, what we think we become. I think Buddhism coined that one very early on in its early scriptures. But there was also Proverb 23:7, I believe, and biblical scripture that said, as man thinketh in his heart, so is he. I can definitely attest to this being truth because everything derives from thought. I think science now, quantum physics with Dr. Joe Dispenza and all of them sort of proving more and more that a simple thought creates a feeling, and then feeling creates the action, and then the action obviously creates the outcome. So, and as Neville always said, feeling is the secret. So everything is birthed initially from a thought that then creates the feeling, which then creates the action, which Dr. Joe Dispenza so beautifully highlights in most of his stories. So that also means we are very much in control of our realities. And if we are not in control of our ego selves and our minds, then it controls us. And we start believing the stories that we tell ourselves, whether they're positive or negative, and also all the stories and thoughts coming into our awareness based on the level of consciousness and awareness that we are sort of running on, which frequency we're running on. So, I think if we are all a little bit more mindful about the stories we tell ourselves, then we can more consciously create our realities and, be in the driver's seat a bit more and not letting our ego selves take over, whereas it was like that with me previously, pre my awakening. And I'm super, super grateful that I was able to, get into the driver's seat and take the steering wheel. and create the life that I desire, step by step. I'm still probably driving in third gear right now, but I will pump it up a notch or two soon. Really enjoying the journey and the ride, to be honest. So I hope that this message landed with someone today that needed to hear it, and spurred some kind of awareness behind the thoughts that come into your mind, and that you have a beautiful evening further, and that I will catch you on the next one. All right, thank you, bye.